Okay, so today's topic is going to be about classes and objects, more technical this time. Uh, by the way, I wanted to check with everyone. So screen sharing wise, I wanted to screen multiple things on my computer, but I think that might make it because I have a big monitor, but you guys might have not have a big monitor, so sharing multiple things might cause an issue. That's why I keep switching my sharing. Yeah, let me know if the sharing screen size that I share is appropriate, or you can go if I can actually share more stuff like my whole screen, which is yeah, like a 34-inch wide screen. Okay, so I've just created a simple agenda for today. I'll share the agenda quickly, and then we'll jump into hands-on. Yeah, so I'm sharing a README file for Session04. So yeah, please go ahead and create a directory called Session04 on your computers, and then we'll go to two labs. One is to create a class and object. Class, I guess we have created, but we not really use it in a class sense. So we'll create objects by creating a new class and using it in our main program. We'll create an object of that, and then we'll interact with the object. So like calling some method of that object and reviewing some value from the object. Yep. And second lab is with basically about interface. So I interface is something which I think is very well done in Java now, and I think we should always favor interfaces and then try to implement the interface, and then finally we'll come back and discuss the class and object towards the end of the class after we have some experience coding it. Yeah, that's the plan for today. Okay, so I'll just share the other screen where we start writing the code. All right, so where am I? I am in Session04. Okay, any suggestions from the audience? What kind of class we should create? Any suggestions? Like we have usual examples of vehicle or shape and so on, but I wanted to maybe get an idea if somebody has a different suggestion of a class to create. Uh, yeah, maybe JP, do you have any suggestions for a class? The purpose of the class rather?
Uh, yeah, maybe vehicle may be better when we go for different implementations of the same vehicle on different. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, JP. We'll go stick to that. Vehicle. So yeah, I guess we'll follow along, everyone. Let me know if you are not able to see my screen. So the class name is going to be vehicle, and the file name is vehicle.java. Okay, create that, and so the standard public class vehicle. This is our standard class structure, public class vehicle. And so what does a vehicle typically have? A vehicle has a few things. I mean, to keep it simple, it will have a name, I guess, a model name, and uh, the make, which means which company is making it. And so let's add it here as string variables. So usually I prefer private, and why we'll come back to that. So please follow along. So we have model name, which is one of the features or piece of information that a vehicle will have. And let's call the other one make. Yeah. So there are two primary pieces of information that a vehicle will have. in our implementation. Yeah. And then we have a standard method which basically is can be public or private, etc., which will typically take in parameters that we want to initialize this class with. So in this case, I will take two parameters, model name one, make one, and I'll assign them to the pieces of information that this class will hold. Yeah. So this is how we developed our. So actually, for practical purposes, this class is now accurate, but it does not do much. So let's do something. Let's maybe just add uh, a print method. Yeah. So public void print my info. Yeah. Let's call that. So what does print my info do? We'll resort to our system.printf method where we say make equal to using the string formatter here, and then we'll say model equal to, and then we will create a model. I'm using camel case for model name in case anybody is wondering why the name looks like that. So that's my class vehicle done. Yeah. Anybody who has any question? I'll paste it on chat as well. Jay, maybe I don't follow. What's the question like? What is missing? Static word. Yeah, correct. Yeah, we'll do that later. Thanks. So this is the class. I'm going to try to compile it. So Java C vehicle or Java. Okay. Oh, I forgot the out word. Yeah. Okay. So I have my Java vehicle class compiled. So you can see I have a vehicle.java and a compiled class file. Now I'm going to create another class just to interact with vehicle, and also it will have the main method. So that will be our entry point. Yeah. So let me call it my vehicles, yeah, or my vehicle Java. Yeah. So let me call this my vehicles.java. Okay. So we'll call it public class my vehicles. And let me add some documentation. So multi-line documentation goes like this. My vehicles, it's a class to demonstrate interaction with vehicle class. Okay, so that's like a comment, multi-line comment, and it doesn't need a double traffic. That's fine. And as they suggested, we were missing a public static web static void need method. So let's start it here. Yeah. Everybody with me so far? Okay. So let's now start to use our vehicle class here. So first thing we'll do is we'll say import vehicle. So that's the first line that I added. Import vehicle. This statement import tells the Java that we need a class called vehicle. Yeah, yeah, I hope everybody is with me. I need to try something here. Give me a second. So I think so by default we have to include, but in this case, because vehicle is in the same directory, so we do not need to import it. Yeah, this is just to let you know that we should be importing classes whenever we want to use them. In this, but if they are part of the same directory, actually same package in a Java term, then we don't need to import them. Okay. So without importing, we can actually start using it. How do we use it? We have to declare a variable of type vehicle, and let's call it what is a popular car nowadays in your place? Any suggestion? What car is popular? I wonder.
Generally used to say motor car.
Which one? Motor car.
Motor car. I mean,
Car.
but it can
Yeah, understood, understood.
not a generic term for covering
Okay,
all the.
let's call it car. A car, like a car is equal to, and we use the keyword new vehicle. This is how we have to create an instance or of a class, yeah, by calling new keyword. This tells Java that okay, somebody is interested to create a new instance of class vehicle, which is basically also called object, yeah. And the first argument is model name. So model name would be, let's say, which one is a good model name over there? I don't know if Santro is still there. Yeah, I'll use Santro and the new query. So if I look at my vehicle class, vehicle Java file, you notice that there are two parameters that the vehicle is interested in, and this is the line that specifies that is being called whenever the new keyword is used. So this is the method, special method called constructor. So the constructor is called, and the constructor declares what parameters it needs. So that's what we did here. We use new vehicle to call the constructor, and we supplied some parameters. and then we can interact with it, a car, using the print my info, method. So this is called uh, a method on the class. So print my info is a method on vehicle, and I can use an instance to call print my info. Okay, let's try to compile. This time we can use JavaC compile star.java. Yeah, and it compiles. Let me copy the contents of my vehicle on Java. Let me copy this time. Feature. Yeah, please everybody take a few minutes to implement this code. I'll add some more comments here. So my Java code compiles. Now, if I want to run Java, which the Java command should I use? Which class should I run, guys? Should I run vehicle or my vehicles?
My vehicle.
Okay, let me run that. So the purpose is to interact with vehicle using my vehicles class. Oh, we did not enter any new line, but I think you can still see that we printed make Hyundai model equal to Santro. Yeah, I think we need to improve this print command. So we go back to vehicles class, vehicle Java file. Okay. And I guess I'll add some more information. This car is of make so and so, and followed by a new line. So I'm improving the command. So I've changed the print command to appear slightly better. Then this car is of make Hyundai model Santro, and I added a new line at the end. Rakesh, are you able to follow along, or is it looks like it's a bit fast today also?
I'm doing it. I'm following it.
Okay, cool. I guess I'll wait for a couple of minutes for others to complete the task and just give me a thumbs up once you're done.
Can you paste the contents of the second file?
Okay. In fact, can I reverse the question? Do you want to paste your content? Then I will go through, or you can even share your screen.
Yeah, I will paste my content.
Okay. So for everybody's attention, like a short quiz, spot quiz. So Rakesh, are you not able to compile, or what is the issue with your?
I'm getting an error with import.
Yeah, correct. So import actually does not work for the file in the same directory. So you can comment that out by double slash.
Okay.
And then give it a go. Yeah. That's what I did. Actually, I wanted to demonstrate import statement, but to keep it simple, we did not change any directory. So that's why I had to comment it back.
So if we have a directory structure, we have to follow it during import, or Java
Yes.
understand.
No, we have to. So basically, what happens is Java specifies package, and package then gets resolved by having files in the directory structure for the package. So let's do some example here. Yeah. Okay. So let's create a small directory. What should we call it? Vehicle. So let me call a directory called sales. Okay. Everybody please follow along. So we have a directory called sales now. We go inside sales and there's nothing here. Let's create a Java file. Priceinfo.java. Okay. Public class price info, and what it should have, let's say, double stands. Let's look integer values. Let's say integer price, and let's say string currency. Yeah. We'll have two parameters: private string and private int. And we'll follow the same recipe. We will have a public constructor called price info, and then we'll have int price1 and string currency. Yeah. And then we'll say price equal to price1, currency equal to currency1. And because this resides inside sales directory, so we have to declare that I'm in a package called sales. Okay. So this is how this package sales tells Java that there will be a directory called sales, and inside there will be a file called priceinfo.java. Okay. So that's how we. Let me give it a go. So where am I? I am here. Let me do Java C sales price info. Oh, I had a typo there. Correct. I have compiled Java sales. So let me share its contents. Yeah. So this is a file called priceinfo.java in a directory called sales. And the main highlight is that you have to declare it as being part of sales package. Yeah. Okay. So now because we have packages, then yeah, Tapinder, does it partially answer your question?
Yeah. So when we have to import it, we have to import a package or we have to import the class.
Yeah, good question. So let's try to import it here. So we'll say import sales dot price info. Okay. This is how we do. We have to say import statement, name of the package, and name of the class. Okay. If there are multiple directories involved, then all the directories need to be named in the same fashion. Sales dot xyz dot price info, for example. Okay.
And package will reside in the workspace directory, right?
Package can be in your workspace or can be in a Java file that you are referencing. It should be available either inside the current directory or in a Java file, Java archive jar file. Yeah. Now let's try to compile. Okay. So the compilation is done. So if you see, if I do like a recursive listing, I can see my vehicle.java, my vehicles.java, and the class files all created this minute. And then I see a sales directory. And inside the sales directory, I have the price info Java and price info class. Okay. Now let's do one more thing. Let's go back to my vehicles and instantiate the price info. Yeah. Price info equals to new info, and then let's say 300,000, and then I am not, and then these two less now. I don't know. Is Centro still there in India? I wonder. Or they stop selling it. So I've used the my vehicle info class inside my vehicles as this guy. And let me do something else. Let me add a overloaded information. Overload means same function having same name but with a different argument. So I'm going to assume that there's a print my info which includes the price info. Yeah. So I'm just going to use it inside my vehicle class. Let me do this and then I'll share the code one more time. So in my vehicle.java now, I am also going to import sales or price info. And I'm going to create a copy of this method which accepts as extra argument. Info price info, and I'm just gonna say, and it costs something. Depending on price info. There are quite a few things happening here. Do you remember overloading? We discussed it last time. Does anybody not understand overloading? Met function overloading, like we did here for print my info. Yeah, please let me know if anybody is not comfortable or not understanding what's going on in this method. I'm assuming silence means everybody is comfortable with this. So what I'm trying to do here is that in the print info now, we'll make it more informative about the cost, right? That's why you're passing a price info in, and we're overloading we're using the same name. Now for this, we need one thing, which is price info. So price info needs to have a method called toString so that it looks nice here. So we'll go and we will implement a toString method in this one. So this is one of the standard Java methods for every object. Public string to string. This is the format, and we can say returns returned, what should we call it? Price, sorry, string dot format percentage s percentage d percentage s. So there's a number which is price and there's a string currency. So string dot format, if you, I think we also touched upon it last the 2 lectures ago. String dot format is something similar to string dot out dot printf. It helps you format a string. Printf actually prints it to the console. String dot format just returns your string. So we are using string dot format to prepare a slightly better readable string, and we're using a function that is available to all objects called toString. We are implementing a method inside it. We are basically overloading the method, overriding the method called toString in this case, and providing it with some information. Okay. In fact, in Java, you can, when you're overriding a method, you also add a notation called override. So this annotation basically means that this method is already declared and in my some superclass like object in this case, and I don't want to use that default implementation. I want to give my own implementation. I don't care about the parent's implementation. So we just, this override method, override annotation is just like a documentation even. It's not mandatory, but we use it for linear, readable, understandable code. Okay. So let me try to compile sales.price info. Compiled, and then let me recompile my other classes in the current directory. Yeah, so we have no compilation issue. Now I can share the code one more time. Okay, yeah, please take note for those who are, yeah, because I've been going a little bit fast. So this is the price info class. We just had additional one public string method, and then let's look at vehicle.java. This is how the vehicle.java class looks like now. And then my vectors for Java. This is how my vehicles class looks like. Yeah. So pasted the 3 pieces of code. Is everybody able to compile them? Yeah. Please let me know if you are not able to facing any compilation issue. Let me see if I can work out a command in the side. Yeah. Okay. So let me remove start of class. Yeah. So I've removed all the class files, and if I run this command, Java starter, Java C starter // star.java, all the class files are created. Okay, so I think you can copy this command and use this to compile all the files in all the subdirectory, all the packages which are not in the current directory also. Okay, so now we will try to run this. We'll try to run this program, but yeah, first of all, yeah, please give me a go ahead that all of you are able to understand and compile this code. Yeah, I'll wait for a few minutes for all of you to catch up. Mm. Mm. Okay. Yeah, I think the Java, we still need to do one more command, Java C dot Java. So we need two commands, Java star.java and star slash star.java. Okay, Rakesh, are you able to follow? Is it working for you now? All the compilations are done. Okay, you're doing it. Okay, I'll wait for a few more minutes. Okay, anybody would like to volunteer and share the screen who has compiled? Or if you want me to go through some of the information on the file, one more time. Let me know that as well.
If we are compiling it, these files, right, one by one, which is what is the sequence?
Yeah, because price info is being referenced by the vehicle and the my vehicles. So you need to first compile price info.
Okay. Okay, that's what like I was trying to do individually, like it was giving me an error. Yeah.
Okay. Please go ahead and try. So I guess there are two commands involved. First one is to run Java C and then //star.java. I will compile all the packages, and then you can compile using Java C star.java, and it will compile all the related files. And
Manu, in the vehicle.java, can you explain the parameters of the overloaded function? I mean, how they are getting, I mean, one is class and then another one is the parameter.
So
For the price, mine for below one, yeah.
yeah. So what's going on is we want to create a class where and we want to interact with it, right? So for this class, the interaction is just printing out the information, correct? Which is the first implementation, my model and my name. But let's say if somebody is interested in more information, like the price. So there are a few ways to do it. One of the ways is that I pass in the price information to some method here, and then it can print out the make, the model, and the price as well. So the price information is not inside the vehicle class, so we need to pass it somehow during runtime. So this is basically a facility we just created, incidentally with the same name, which gives the user the capability to understand the make, model, as well as the cost. So imagine if you had like four such cars and you wanted to show four options to your client, then you would typically create those four vehicles and gather price information for each of them and then present them in some format, which could one of them could be the console output in this case.
So what is the format? The format is first would be the class and then second would be the parameter.
Yeah, it's like another variable, right? So like you have variables, you work with variables all along.
Yeah.
In a function like string and the name of the variable. Same way, this is a variable and this is the type of the variable. So in this case, it is a class, custom class.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, so you can pass objects as variables. You can use objects as variables, basically. Yeah, that's what it demonstrates.
And then when you call toString, it converts this object into all the variables into.
Yeah, because this statement, it basically it understands that I want to use the string representation of make, model, and price info. And make and model are already string representations. So what it does is it basically converts this behind the scene into price info dot toString method, which we also coded a few minutes ago, and then that string is basically pasted inside this output format. It's a shortcut. You could have written, I guess you could have written like this one dot toString. Yeah, you could have written it like this, and it would have yeah, so it compiles and just Java understands and what you're trying to do, and it will do a shortcut, which is it will convert this into the same two. It will basically call the toString method. All right. Now I'm going to try to run the improve class, improve program my vehicles. And as before, it printed the car information, but it also printed out the car information with the cost. And that is what we are trying to do as a part of demonstrating packages. So we can take a look at my vehicles one more time. So we imported sales.price info, and we instantiated the car and the price info, and then we basically printed out the car's info with and without the price information. That's all we try to achieve today. Okay, so is everybody able to see the following output when we run Java My Vehicles? Anybody who is not able to run? Hmm. Shall I move ahead? Shall we go to the second topic, which is interface? Rakesh,
One
are
more
you
question.
okay?
Uh,
Oh,
one more question.
yeah.
So, and the variable should match. I mean, what we have declared in my vehicle should match when we have declared in overloaded function.
Uh, so the class, the type has to match, which is price information.
Mhm.
This has to match, correct? But the variable name is totally local, so you can just put any name.
Okay.
That will work.
Mhm.
Just the type matches. So there's no compilation issue. So the variable name doesn't have to match. In fact, that's also what Java does under the hood. It will create a copy of the value that the variable holds and sends it to the function. So, I mean, even theoretically and practically, they are basically, it doesn't matter.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, yeah, Rakesh, if you want, let me know if you have any questions or any issue running the program. Okay, yeah. Anybody want fancy a small break, or shall we move to the next topic? Rakesh, you wanted to say something?
I'm getting some exception, like it pays that when I run Java my vehicles.
Uh-huh. Okay. Do you want to share your screen? We can take a look.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. I think I'm not.
Not able to share screen.
Just give me a second.
Yeah, Mac has some security problems sometimes.
No, I'm not able to share the screen. I will just paste my error.
Yes, sure. Okay, Tapendra, do you also get this any similar error?
No, it worked for me.
Okay. Rakesh, which Java are you using?
The
21.
yeah,
And what is your current directory?
Session04.
Uh-huh. Okay.
The class file name and everything is case sensitive, right? So is it correct without any case issue?
So yeah, Rakesh, maybe you can paste your price info class also.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm pasting.
Thanks, City, for the idea. Are you able to compile price info? In fact, maybe I should ask that as well.
Yeah, I didn't get any compilation error.
But do you see a class file, price info.class file available in the sales directory?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
This is what my price info class.
Okay, can you share like a screenshot of the directory, I mean the command prompt where you see the class file?
Yeah.
Including the directory. So I wanted a screenshot of your terminal or command prompt where
Yes.
it has the class file, something like this. Let me, if I'm in my session 4 and if I do ls minus ltr with a capital R, I get a recursive output. Something like this listing, which is recursive listing function. fact, I have one more command. Maybe Tapinder, Jay, you can try this command also on your console to see if it works. I just pasted a new command for others to try.
Somehow I am not able to share
Oh,
the screenshot. Well, I don't know.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I think this chat is only about text message somehow. So I've pasted another command, Rakesh. Do you want to give it a try in the session04 directory?
Yep.
Java minus CP. What
Yeah.
are you using? Windows or Mac? Or Mac is it? Terminal, no? Terminal. This command should work on the terminal. Probably not on command prompt.
Yeah, it's showing me almost the same error.
Okay, so I think
Exception.
there must be some compilation, I mean, some issue. Rakesh, so you will have to come back to it.
Yeah,
Um,
what I will do is once this session is over, I will sit on it and then I will
yeah.
check.
So I can wait for you after the session to try it out here.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So let's go to the second part, which is interface. So Java has a facility called interface, which is quite simple and very powerful, and a favorite, all the programmers' favored way of implementing object-oriented programming called interface. So, okay, so maybe Rakesh, you can create another directory for it because you are not able to compile. Yeah. So let's create a file called investment.java. Investment.java, and this time we'll call it public interface investment. And it's going to be very simple.
Are you
So
sharing your screen?
yeah, sorry. Something I keep forgetting. Cool. So I've created an investment.java file. Inside it, I'm declaring a public interface investment. Yeah, I hope everybody can see. Okay. And I'm going to declare a method. So this is called a method declaration. There is a method name, its parameters, which in this case is nothing, and a return type. So the interface has a method called print PNL. So there's investment, and we want to print its profit and loss at any point of time. Yeah. So this is how this interface looks like. Very simple, and that's it actually. So we have just created our first interface that is in this class. This is how it looks like. Yeah, please follow along. Let's try to compile it. Yeah, it compiles. So Java has no, although it looks very different from a class, Java understands it and is able to compile it. So we have so after compilation, it also compiles it to investment.class file. So yeah, yeah, that's, I think it does not compile to investment.interface file. Yeah, everything is the class file. If I look at the class file is something that is not meant to be human readable, so that's why it looks quite different. So we can just ignore that and work on with our Java files. Yeah. Okay, so I'm hoping that everybody is able to follow along. So what interface means is interface is more like how do you define in the interface? It's more like a promise that okay, if you use me, this is the facility I will give you. It's like a promise. So the interface investment gives you a promise that it will print PNL. In fact, actually, it is giving back a string. So I think we should, because it's giving back because the name is print PNL, we should not expect anything back from it. So print PNL should print something and that's it's done. So instead of returning a string, we will declare the return type as void. A void return type means it's not going to return you any value. Yeah, please help me correct your investment.java file with void word. Void keyword means this function will not return any value. Java is quite verbose, so you have to learn a few other keywords. You have to learn quite a few keywords to tell Java your intention. It will not assume a lot of things. So in some programming languages, for example, if you don't declare a return type, it is okay. Whether it returns or not returns, it is still able to manage, but not Java. So we have to use the word keyword void. I've pasted the second version already. Okay, let's quickly compile this time. Yeah. So now, how do we realize this promise? We can realize it in many ways. For example, I'll call it a file called stock.java. Let's create a file called stock.java. And this will be actual implementation. So we say it's a class, stock. And how does it fulfill the promise? By implementing the interface called investment. So yeah, please take a moment. So we want to create a class called stock, and it implements an interface called investment. What does it mean? It means it is a class which will fulfill the promise of your interface. So what it means is it will have a public method of the same type, public void print PNL. Okay, and then it will do something. System.out.print f I will print stock performance /n. So the stock class basically tells us that it is going to, because it is implementing the investment interface, it has to fulfill the promise of printing PNL. This is all it says in this file. Okay. Let's try to compile it quickly. And it does. So let's look at investment one more time. So investment has an interface which promises to print PNL, and then stock is a class that implements the interface, and by virtue of implements keyword and followed by the investment class, investment interface name, it takes up the responsibility of fulfilling the promise of that interface, and hence it has to implement this method This is the method that is being implemented. Same name with the public keyword added, because interface are not meant for private private implementation. So it's always going to be public. Yeah. And this is, and even though we did not do anything meaningful, we just printed out that I'm going to fulfill the promise. Yeah. So let's quickly create a class called my investments, which will then use this my investments.java. Public class my investments. It will have public static void name string arguments, and I will say stock my stock equal to new stock. As before, we are implementing a variable called my stock, which is an instance of the class stock, and it has the method print pnl inside it, and that's what we're going to test it here. Okay, simple. My investments public static void main. Let me give it a go, and then we talk about it some more. See my investments. Oh, I think I forgot some braces again. It compiles, and if I run this program, my investments. Okay, what it does, it says I will print a stock's performance. So it basically fulfilled the promise that it's going to print a PNL. Yeah. So let's go back to stock and make it more interesting. Stock.java. Let's add a method, a variable called purchase price, and a double for current price. Okay, and as always, we will have a public constructor called public stock, and which has only one input called, let's call it price. And I have a typo here. Currency price should be current price, and let me call it purchase price 1. And I would say this property is set. How about the current price? At the time of creation, it is also the same. Okay, that's what we have done here. Okay, now let's do some math. Double PNL equal to current price minus purchase price, and now we can modify our information to say my PNL is equal to and then PNL. Yeah, just follow along. So this time what we've done is we've done something more meaningful. The stock has a current price and a purchase price, and we print the P&L using the current price minus purchase price. So let's compile this file. Java C compiles, and let's go to my investments, which will, I guess, fail this time. If I try to compile my investments, it will fail. because it says stock needs a double argument. Stock needs a argument which is double, and it was not given. So we have to modify my investments with the initial purchase price of the investment. Let's say stock was purchased for 101.12.3. Now if we try to compile, it does, and if we try to run my investment, it prints my PNL equal to 0. So again, not so interesting. So let's make it more meaningful. So we go back to the stock class and create a method called public void set current price double current price. We can give it any name. So I'm just using this one, and then my current price is now equal to the price applied, which is current price to, and then we exit this stock class and we compile it, and it compiles. We go to back to my investment and we try to set a current price. So my stock, I'll call on my stock instance the method called set current price, and let's say the price has moved to 110.0. Now if I try to print my PNL, I should see some more information. If we try to compile that time. Right. So initially my PNL was 0, but after some time my PNL, because the current price moved and we recorded it, I get some different PNL here. Okay. So I'll give it a pause here and I'm going to print out all the Java files so that you can follow along, and then we'll have some Q&A. Okay. I printed all of this on my computer now. Let me paste it on the chat also. Yeah. Any question from everyone? Anyone? Or you're okay to follow along? I think the session is overrunning. I hope that's okay for everyone. If not, then we continue with the interface next week. Yeah. I'll give it a pause so you can follow along for next 5 minutes. And feel free to leave the class. If not, then we'll continue after 5 minutes. Yeah. I'll take a break of 5 minutes here. Let you guys follow along. And if you don't want to leave, yeah, please go ahead. Hi guys, I'm back. Yeah, I know it's a little bit complicated, but we did just now. So yeah, please free to ask any questions. If you're stuck, let me know as well. Tapinder, are you able to follow along?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So any clarification from your side?
I'm good.
Uh, how about Jay Pushottam? Any question from your side?
Yeah, I'm good. Manu.
Yeah, Manu. Actually, I need to revisit all this that whatever topics we discussed, right? So need to check again and work on it on my own. So
Mhm.
if there is anything, I will let you know. Yeah.
Okay, sure, sure.
But one question actually, we creating class as a public, right? Inside the class, actually, we declare as a the variable as a private. So what is the in a public class? Why we need to declare the variable as a private?
Yeah. So that's how you can say one of the principles that we follow. It's a choice, and the choice recommended by Java is encapsulation. One of the you might have heard this term very frequently, encapsulation. So encapsulation is a choice where by which we hide details from the users of a class. So when we make declare something private, they cannot directly use this variable. So my investment, for example, so let's talk about purchase price. Yeah. So copy, and if I try to use it directly, so if I want to use in fact, yeah, stock dot current price. Yeah, we did current price equal to 110. We could have done that, right? Looks so easy. And if I try to compile this file now, I get one error. What says current price has private access in stock. This is exactly what we coded, isn't it?
Yep.
So because we wanted, nobody could directly refer to this current price. So for example, if in my stock, if the stock, let's say instead of set current price, if let's say there was a method called public void fetch and set current price, yeah, and this time it somehow we believe that this method had the intelligence, has the means to fetch current price. Yeah, let's say it had the means to fetch current price and then set current price and then set current. Correct. So then I would not need this method called set current price. Yeah, because I had the means to do it. So in this scenario, current price is something that my investments class will never need to know even. So this is why. So in my investment class, I don't need to call this, and I don't need to even call set current price. I will just say do something and fetch your current price from somewhere. Yeah, I don't know how we do it. It's your job. It would have done that, and then it would not even know that there is a variable called current price. Yeah, it would just say it will just do, it will, okay, so let's say it's called my stock dot update info. Let's call it this one. Yeah, instead let me, yeah, and let's say there's a method called update info. Let's, sorry, I'll just call this method in stock class, and instead of fetch and set current price, I will say update info, and this one has a, let's say eventually it says current price equal to 111.0. So update info will do its job. My investment doesn't need to know. And basically, after doing update info, it found that the PNL is 8.0. Yeah. So now my investment, the Java, actually doesn't really know about current price. So this is the concept that we are using here, that we don't know. So the users of a class don't know many details about it, and that is the preferred design pattern, especially in Java. So that's, so based on this philosophy, we see that it is private because not many people need to know about this guy and this guy. By hiding the information, by making it private, we make the programs more visible. So as you know, my investment now reads much better. You know, it says there's a stock, there's a P&L by default 0, and there's a update. Somehow the update happened on the stock. Let's say somebody else could do it, another part of the program could do it, like an automatic background updater. And when the user requests a print PNL, then you show the latest information. So my investments class is now more dumb. It knows less. It tries to do some simple things like keeping a list of stocks and printing a report of the value of the profit or loss when requested by the user. That's it. It doesn't know anything else. How do we implement it? By making more and more state variables, member variables, we call them, inside the classes as well. I hope that explains.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, please keep the questions coming. Maybe if not now, maybe next class or during the WhatsApp, you can also place any question during the week. That one answer. Okay. Yeah, I just want, why we did this interface is because we want, so I just want to take 5 more minutes. So we have the interface and we implemented stock. Let's try to implement another one. Saving deposit on Java and public class fixed deposit implements investment. And as we discussed earlier, investment, and as we discussed earlier, the main promise is that it will print PNL. That is the, at least because it implements investment, this is a promise it has to fulfill. So let's try to implement this again. My PNL is equal to percentage F. Let's call it PNL. We calculate it in a short while. And let's say we have private double principal, and we also have time duration and interest rate. Yeah, let's say we have 3 values, and let me start with some, I'll assume some values for now. and later we can convert it into constructor parameters. 100, 10,000, duration is let's say 2 years, and the interest rate is equal to 0.05. Then the P&L is equal to principal times, let's say simple interest calculation times interest rate. Okay, and that's all. Save it, compile. I think there is a bracket missing. Add the bracket back and even a new line. A new line. Is it compiled? Oh, still doesn't. Okay, so I need to declare the local variable double A equal to the calculation. There was one more error, and it's the same error. So now I have a fixed deposit kind of investment available. So let me add it to my portfolio. And this time we can show the polymorphism, my second investment, and this time it will be a fixed deposit. So and let's try to print the P&L of the second investment. It compiles, and if I do run this guy, I see then with the P&L, the second P&L coming is 1,000. Yeah. So what we did is we basically created another implementation of investment interface, which has a different way of calculating P&L, but it still respects the same promise, which is to print P&L. Yeah. In fact, we can do a little bit better here. We can, instead of doing my FB P&L, yeah, I can do that. I can go to stock and say my stock P&L. And we run this. So now we see my stock P&L is 8.7, my FD P&L is 1,000. So investment interface and its promise is upheld by the two implementations, and together they can come together in my portfolio of investment. Yeah, that's what I wanted to demonstrate. Okay, so as usual, I'll check this into GitHub, and you can refer to them for your practice. Yeah, quite a lot we covered today. So yeah, please make an effort to go through within the week. Yeah? Thank you. Any questions for now?
For the second one, I mean, for the investment fixed deposits or Java, you implemented fixed deposit class, but when you called in my investment, you called the investment class. So
yes. So this is correct. You're right. So this is typical pattern in Java that you can use a variable of type, a superclass or interface when you want to refer to the instance of a subclass or a implementation of the interface. So this is a facility.
So we can also do investment my stock, right?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and let me replace this my stock with first investment. So Now it looks like first investment is, let's say, coming from a database, it's a stock. Second investment, again, maybe coming from a database, is a fixed deposit. Maybe my investment doesn't even know, in future what type of investment these are. It just knows that they are of type investments. Hence, I can use my print P&L on them. Yeah. Let's simplify. Oh, but there is one issue here. So the update info is something that is not part of the interface. So this will give a compilation issue. Because we declared it of type investment, it does not know about update info at all. Hence, it will give the compilation issue. So there are two ways to handle this. One is that we'll go back and declare it as a stock, but we don't want to do that just now. So we can do something different, like a cheat here. I can just say my is stock. We can typecast it as a small cheat, and then it will know about it. There's a third preferred way where maybe your interface is very, very thin. Maybe your investment interface should have some more capabilities. So we could say void update info here as one of the second promise it fulfills. It will fulfill that I can update myself somehow, and then we can go back to my investment. We don't need this sheet anymore. However, we still have one issue that fixed deposit yet does not fulfill the promise of update info. Although we don't need to, but we still have to, in this case, at least create a empty implementation so that all of them can compile and I can still get an answer. Well, there is another way, cleaner way to do it, but I'm just explaining the different nuances of basically having interfaces and their promises. Yeah. So this is in the nutshell another way to deal with the cases. I mean, so how to utilize interfaces? You can use it as a variable type. You can invoke the method that is declared on this type, not on this type. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Tapendra, sorry, I think yeah the answer is a bit complicated, but in this scenario, but yeah, that's the simple answer is yes. You can use type for subtype like
Yep.
stock. In fact, let me try to improve it. But yeah, in the meantime, anybody else has any questions? There is one more facility in Java called default functions. In an interface, this is more for backward compatibility. That if you have a method that is being used in your subclasses, but you don't want all of them to implement it, then you can create it as a default method, which I did here. So then it's no longer a mandatory promise to fulfill. It's just a facility using the default keyword here. That's something that I guess will cover in a later class. So that's all for me. Right. Everybody have a good weekend and a good rest of the week. Please to practice because yeah, things are getting more serious as you can observe. And if in fact if you have any favorite topic you want to cover, let me know on WhatsApp. Then I can prioritize that. Otherwise, we'll choose probably to do more practice on object-oriented principles. Yeah. Okay. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Manu. Have a good day. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Manu.
Thanks, Manu.